record on this computer. All right, we're recording. So I will share all of this information with you. I'll email it to you tomorrow. So that way you will have the video, which will be linked on YouTube. And then you'll also have the PDF version of the orientation packet. So you can download that as well and keep that on your phone. So PDF orientation. But anyway, hello everybody. Happy Sunday. And greetings from the future. I'm in Spain right now, 7 hours ahead of you. So 7 hours from now, everything's still fine in the world. Don't worry. I hope you guys are excited for this trip. Personally, it's one of my favorite regions of Europe. Central Europe's is the most beautiful in my opinion. And you guys have a great itinerary. You're going to get to see 4 fabulous capital cities, and you're going to get to listen to and enjoy some great concerts along the way. Our team is also exceptional, so I look forward to having those guys take great care of you throughout the program. We have Francisca in Berlin. We have Martin in Prague, Czech Republic. We have Sandra in Vienna, and we have Anita, of course, in Budapest. Now, all of these guides are local from the cities that you're going to be visiting, so they're going to show you all the best spots throughout the program. Today, guys, I'm just going to go with you over some of the essentials, and then, of course, give you time to ask as many questions as you have about the itinerary of the program, anything travel related. Sam, Professor Magrel mentioned earlier about a packing list. We've stopped including packing list on the programs because we had some issues where there was one thing missing from the packing list, and then it just caused a ton of confusion. So basically, the best advice that I can give you for packing for this trip is to look at weather conditions, average weather conditions for that type of year, and just pack accordingly. It will not be extremely, extremely cold in May in Europe. If anything, it's probably going to be warmer than what you expect, but there could be some days where, overcast and rain or something like that. Most importantly, when it comes to packing for this trip is comfortable walking shoes, because you guys are going to be exploring all these cities on foot, and you will be getting in your 10,000 to 20,000 steps per day. So make sure you have comfortable walking shoes. And remember, most of these cities are made up of cobblestone, so avoid any high heels or things like this, okay? Comfortable, versatile shoes. Also, since you will be seeing some performances, I would suggest, something nicer to wear to the performances. But other than that, it's just, normal clothes, things that you can just think layers, and then you'll be fine. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. This beautiful city right here. Does anybody know this city? Right here. Can you guys see my screen still? Yeah. Prague, Czech Republic. All right. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll move here to the flight information. Now, guys, if you see any typos at all in your names or anything like that, please email Patricia, and she will get those cleared up with the airfare team for you, okay? So make sure you double check that.
Just so you know, we've already fixed the spelling of Sam's name under Contact Your Professor. I've already fixed that.
Great. Matt Grill. I see that right now. There you go. Yeah. Keep shouting them out as we go down, and I'll update them as we go through.
There weren't that many. And then I also added our hashtag. We have a hashtag.
All right. Very good. Very good. You guys could also consider making a Google photo album. I always have our groups do that, and it's great because everybody can share all their photos in the album after the trip, and it's great to see what everyone comes up with. So just an idea.
Okay.
But so yeah, let's dive in. So guys, on May 12th, Oklahoma City Airport, flying to Chicago to Frankfurt, and that's where Francisco will be waiting for you. We had to fly into Frankfurt, guys, because Berlin in my opinion, is the worst capital city in Europe to fly into, just how small the airport is for a capital city, especially of a major country. The airfare is extremely expensive to fly into Berlin. It's a shame because that's where most of our Germany trips start. But we're going to be flying into Frankfurt, and then from there you'll take the high-speed train down to Berlin, and Francisca will be waiting for you at the airport. Cheerful, and she'll be make sure that you're caffeinated and entertained throughout the day to start exploring her hometown. I would work in, guys, probably to stay on the safe side, 3 hours before your flight, get to the airport, anywhere between 2 and 3. I assume that you'll be meeting before you go through security, probably at the United area. You guys can decide that with each other, but basically we'll send you over after the meeting the record locator, and with that record locator you'll be able to print off your boarding passes for the entire trip.
It's right there if you go down the page.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. AKJLBH, yep, and then WRQJ9G. So those are going to be the ones that you put in the little self kiosk there, and they'll print out your boarding passes for you. Yeah. Coming back, we'll be flying Budapest, Frankfurt, Washington, and Washington, Oklahoma City. All right. So again, guys, double check. Yep, I see here Samuel Morse. Yeah, anything? Is that your middle name, Professor
Yes.
Magriel? Oh, okay, cool. Great. Learn something new every day. If you see any problems, guys, let me know, and we will get them fixed, okay? Going down here. Now, very important question. To check or to not check? I suggest, okay, in my personal opinion, when flying over to Europe, I suggest that you carry your bags on the plane with you, okay? I know this can seem impossible, but it's pretty incredible what you can pack inside of a carry-on within those dimensions for a 2-week trip. It's very possible. I 95% of the time carry everything on with me. The reason why I suggest you do that, again, this is only a suggestion. The reason why I suggest you do that is you know where your luggage is the entire time. You have it with you. It makes it easier transitioning throughout the airport, and you don't have to worry about you arriving in Frankfurt, but your bag not arriving. Last year, on a very similar Central Europe trip, we had 4 of the travelers who luggage didn't arrive till the 4th day of the program. One of those travelers' bag didn't arrive till the very last day of the program. At that point, she had a completely new wardrobe. So I would keep that in mind. Now coming back, obviously, if you want to check your bag, hey, it doesn't matter if it's delayed because you're going home, right? You probably have extra clothes, but going over, keep that in mind. Now, if you're traveling, if you have lots of liquids, things like this, for medicine, for example, that you can't put down in smaller size bottles, then obviously check your bag. It's not a problem. This is just a suggestion, okay? Now, guys, every city that we're going to, this is a capital city of these countries, they have normal stores where you can get every toiletry imaginable, okay? So you don't need to bring over lots and lots of big shampoos and things like this. If you want, you can buy that stuff there. So we can make an easy stop or point it out to you, the nearest drugstore or something like that, for you to pick up any supplies that you might have forgotten from home, okay? So again, I recommend that you pack light and only bring what you need. Obviously, you want to pack for all these different conditions. There will not be snow or anything like that, but it may get chilly one day, so it might be good to have like a sweater, a light jacket, something like that, especially in the evenings. Check the average weather reports for what's typical in this areas in May, and then pack accordingly. Just remember, comfortable shoes.
I did have a question about the. Let's see, I was looking up United policy. Do they allow you to check bags for free, the first bag, or do they charge?
You guys have on all of your flights, you'll have at least one checked bag covered included. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So that is included. You can do that, no problem. And then on the plane, obviously, you can have your bigger bag, your little trolley, for example, or what you might have to put above, and then below you can have your additional backpack to go below the seat in front of you. But yes, you do have you always have it included with your flight, a checked bag. But I just carry on just so I make sure I arrive with it. Okay, just a suggestion. A couple things very important that I want to, these are samples right here. Yeah, bags I'm talking about. Guys, another thing I want to remind you is that, keep in mind, we're going to be using public transportation as well as, using our own feet, walking everywhere. So it's not going to be a tour bus style trip where, you have your huge bag and then you put it under the bus and then you're on the bus the whole trip. You're going to be traveling as the locals do, which means that, you want to be mobile. So that's another reason to try to pack light. So that way you don't have a huge 6-month suitcase. Trying to get onto public transportation can be a challenge. You'll always get a ride for sure, but, you might feel a little bit in the way. So keep that in mind. Also, in Europe, a lot of the buildings, the ones we're staying in, pretty sure all of them do have elevators, but sometimes, the elevators might be out of order, or it's an old building that doesn't have an elevator, and you might have to crate your luggage up the 3rd flight of stairs, or even higher. So keep that in mind when you're packing. Okay, only bring the essentials. You will have the opportunity to do laundry as well while you're there. There's self-service machines, so that is an option. But I think for 2 weeks you can pack light and not have to do laundry. Plenty of packing videos on YouTube with nice rolling techniques and things like that to maximize your space. Okay. Travel checklist, very important. Okay. Passport. Everybody has a passport? Yes. All right. We will be sending you a link. Forgive me if it's already been sent out and I'm not aware, but we'll be sending you a link for your medical form. This is essential. All this information stays confidential and it's destroyed after the program, but it is there in case of an emergency, that we have any kind of medicines that that you are allergic to, anything that any pre-existing medical conditions that you think that we should know about in the case of emergency, that we can access information and provide it to a local doctor. Okay. We'll also be sending you an electronic signed release form. Make sure that you have transportation to and from the OKC airport the day of departure and the day that you come back. Provide your loved ones the contact information on the next page, where you'll be staying and on what days. And very important, other than the passport, I think this is probably the other one that's absolutely important, is let your bank know that you're going to be out of the country and where you're traveling to. Okay, so let them know the countries that you'll be visiting. Let them know the dates that you'll be traveling, so that way they will not block your card while you're traveling, and have an inconvenience of you having to call and have them unlock your card. Oop, let me go back. Sorry about that. Travel adapter. Okay. Two things. So European sockets are different than American sockets. Okay. I have one on me right now, but you can go online. You'll see there's 2 holes, circular holes, for the European sockets. You can get an adapter for a couple bucks. Okay. You can order that on Amazon. You get that Target, Radio Shack, Walmart, whatever is easiest for you. But keep in mind that that's not a converter. Okay. That's just an adapter. Now, you need to double check your electronics and make sure that your electronics, the charger, clearly specifies that it can handle the voltage between 100 and 210. Okay, it's extremely important, because if your device doesn't have the built-in converter in the charger, then you possibly are going to fry your device whenever you stick it in the wall of Europe. Okay, most modern electronics these days already have the built-in converter. It says clearly 100, 210 on it, that it can handle that voltage. Double check that. Okay, if you don't know, then just go ahead and buy a little, they have the best little converter adapters with all the different regions of the world. There's like 5 different types of plugs connected to it. You can get something on that online for like $8, $10, and you can use it on your trips. It also has USB plugs on the side, so you can charge your computer, for example, but at the same time, you could charge your mobile phone or your camera out of the USB plugs. I would suggest buying one of those for $8 and then just continue to use it in the future for all your future travels. But yes, keep that in mind. The things that that tend to get fried the most are hair straighteners, blow dryers, these ones because they just pull so much energy that they're the ones that tend to knock out the power in the building, and the manager of the hostel will or hotel will normally come try to find the group leader to find out which one of the travelers plugged it into the wall. So before you use one of those devices, double check with the reception to get their advice for you. Many times they already have one downstairs that you can use because of this problem that's quite frequent. Okay, so travel adapter for sure, guys. And most importantly, positive mental attitude. You guys are going to have an incredible time. You're exploring, 4 of Europe's most beautiful cities. Definitely, guys, when we're here, I want you to check out all the places where we're staying. Yeah, we stay in a mixture of hotels and hostels. Don't let the word hostel scare you. Every place is clean, safe, and well-researched. The S in hostel, I like to say, stands for social. So you're going to meet international travelers from all over the world, different corners. So get excited. You never know who you're going to meet. We've actually had a few travelers who have met their current spouse from staying at one of the hostels along the route, along the trip. So literally, you have no idea who you're going to meet when you're staying in these places. They're great. You'll love them. They're made for young travelers. Like I said, everything's clean. It's safe. It's well-researched, and it's central. That's a very important thing. All the places you stay, you're in the heart of the city, okay? So check these out and provide this information to your loved ones so that way if they need to reach you for some reason, they know where you're staying and they can call the hotel and provide and leave a message for you, okay? These are your guides, not this young lady here. But these names here on the left. So Franziska, she's Germany, from Berlin. Yep. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard a question. My bad.
Isn't her name Franziska?
That's correct. Yeah. If you see the one, I already corrected that misspelling. Franziska, I already corrected that misspelling right here. On the one I'm going to be sending you. If you see where I'm hovering right now, this has already been corrected. Yeah, it is Franziska, the same as in her email address. Mr. Mark,
Spanish.
Go ahead.
The other was her Spanish name.
The other was her Spanish name. Okay, we'll have to let her know. Martin Josek, who in May is having his first baby, so he'll be a father during your trip. So you're lucky. Martin Josek, Sandra, she's a hoot, and Anita. These are your 4 group leaders and guides, and they're going to take care of you in each city. Emergency contact information, guys. Again, just download this as a PDF and save it with you so that way you can access it if you need to. All right. Any questions at all? You have Patricia's email right here, reservationsteam@gmail.com. She will answer any questions that you may have, okay? Now, let's get into the fun stuff. Can we go into the itinerary? Yeah, ready? Let's do it. So, as we discussed earlier, flying to Frankfurt from OKC with a couple stops. Overnight flight, 7 hours ahead in Europe, okay? Once you arrive in Frankfurt, Francisco will be waiting for you. You guys will take the high-speed train all the way to Berlin. It'll be a nice little orientation. You're going to get to see the German countryside. Once you arrive in Berlin, we will get you checked in. You can relax and refresh. And Francisca's going to show you, is going to start showing you her city. She's going to get you comfortable with the neighborhood you're staying in, teach you how to use the public transportation, make sure that in the case you're lost, you know how to get home, etc. And then you'll go for a traditional Berlin welcome dinner. Guys, if you have any dietary requirements, just let your group leader know, and they'll make sure that you're taken care of at the restaurant we're going to, that there is an option for you, okay? Guys, every morning, you guys will have breakfast included, and you'll be able to have a little day briefing, discuss what's going to happen for the day. Your group leader will come and meet you, and then you'll be ready to dive into the city. Normally breakfast, they start serving around 7, and then we're leaving around 9 to start the day, okay? So the Berlin Historical and Cultural Walking Tour, the most important iconic sites of Berlin, tends to be around about 2 to 3 hours. Francisca can go much longer as well, depending on how engaged you are. So she will judge that based on the energy of the group, okay? Very important, but normally around 3 hours. Very important, guys. Something we always want to incorporate into our programs is that you have plenty of free time as well to explore the city and do the things that interest you the most, okay? It would be a shame if you went on a program and everything was already prefixed that you didn't have the time to do something that's important to you. So during your free time, your local group leaders will give you all of the tips and suggestions that they think are worthwhile, and they'll make sure you know how to get to those places, or you can even join them to go join what they think is the best activity as well. But you will have that opportunity each day to be able to get out on your own and explore the city and have a connection with it, okay? That evening, go ahead.
What does structured free time?
Structured free time. So basically, we had to start calling it structured free time because risk management at a few schools was like, we don't know about this. We say, okay, structured free time, meaning that we're going to give you guys suggestions, but basically you do whatever you want. If you want to go back and sleep, that's totally up to you, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. So basically, free time with a general structure. We're going to give you suggestions and advice for how to make the most out of that allocated period, which I guess that would probably be around 5 hours that afternoon to go and explore the city. That evening, you'll have your first classical concert, okay? Please don't ask me any questions about classical music. That's what your professors are there for. They are the experts in that area. I would be lying to you. So that's why I just say that, straight from the beginning, I'm not the one to ask about that. Anything city related, travel related, I've got you there. But regarding the concerts, that is not my forte. So the next day, breakfast day briefing. And then we'll have our Berlin Music Appreciation Walking Tour. So it's going to be a themed walking tour focusing on locations around the city that are important to the music world, historical and contemporary. That afternoon, we have the museum visit of musical instruments. And again, evening, structured free time, okay? The following day, May 16th, we're going to be going to Prague, Czech Republic. Now, guys, each city, Berlin and Vienna are on the euros, okay? Right now, the dollar and the euro has never been closer, so it's a perfect time to explore Europe. It's, yesterday it was at 0.88, so that means 88 US cents equals 88 euro cents equals $1, okay? So they're almost identical. It's never been that close. So you're really getting the most bang for your buck while you're over there. The other cities, Prague, Czech Republic, they use the crown, which is normally around 20 Czech crowns for $1 US. And then Budapest uses the forint, F-O-R-I-N-T, which I need to double check, but it's normally around 300 forint to $1 US, okay? Now, I know that sounds like a nightmare trying to wrap your head around that, especially to figure out how much you're paying for, a packet of gum or something. The easiest thing to do is just, have a little calculator on you and double check on xe.com, X for X-ray, E for elephant, and that will give you the live. I'll pull it up right now, actually. We can double check. xe.com. Now, guys, I'm going to suggest that instead of bringing over a lot of US money and converting it, I suggest that you instead bring a debit card and withdraw local currency and determine how much you want to spend in each place. So let's see here. Yeah, so 0.88 on the euro. All right, that's what I thought. And then let's see how much $1 US is for HUF. Let's see here. Normally it's around 300 something. Let's see what it is today. 285, okay? So 285 285 florins equals $1. And then let's check the Czech crown. CZK. Yeah. Gosh. 22. Okay, I wasn't too far. I said 20. So 22. All right. So you can use this website. It's great. It's live market, right? So again, I don't want you guys to get ripped off while you're over there. So I would prefer if you would avoid bringing US cash and then hoping to exchange it for two reasons. One, you're going to get bad exchange rates and you're losing money right from the beginning. And two, you also put yourself at risk for being pickpocketed or just losing your money. And then, spending money's gone. So instead, have your debit card, go to the local ATM with one of the group leaders, figure out how much you want to get out, use xe.com, withdraw that amount in the local currency, and off you go. All right? That's what I suggest that you do. Now, back to the itinerary, May 16th. We are going to arrive in the Czech Republic. Same thing. Yo, yes.
We can also use credit cards, right?
You can use credit cards, yeah, but to pay for meals or to pay for activities and things like this. But I don't know. I never withdraw cash from my credit card because I believe that has a really bad rate.
Right. No, not as a withdrawal, but just to pay for
yeah,
meals.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. The only things that you might run into, sometimes places will not accept American Express. Okay. But like Visa, MasterCard, things like that, those are normally fine. But often the only cards I hear where people are like, no, we don't accept it is often American Express. So just keep that in mind. Okay. But yes, you can use credit cards everywhere you go for sure. Now, if you're trying to buy from a street vendor or something like that, possibly not. Yes.
I've heard that European credit cards now are using a tap technology rather than a chip technology. It's that thing that's on your card. Do we need to switch our cards to include tap technology because that's not as common here?
Right. You can use both. The machine has all three. So it has tap, it has chip, and it has swipe.
Okay.
Yeah, but good question. Yes, they are using the tap. It makes life very easy. You can tap 20 euros without having to put in a PIN. And then if you go past that 20, then you need to enter in your PIN code. Okay. Very good point. Speaking of PIN codes, make sure you remember the PIN code to your debit card. Okay. And make sure that your spending money is on that debit card. These are all things that have happened in the past. Guys, another scenic drive to the Czech Republic. The bus that you'll be on will have restroom facilities, as well as they normally show movies and serve food and drink. Now, when I say food, basic sandwiches, chips, things like this, okay? It's not going to be like an airplane meal. Drinks, water, juices, and of course, local Czech beer. That's what they're famous for. So most important thing, restroom. Before you get on the bus, make sure that the local guide speaks with the driver to make sure that the restroom is working properly. But I do suggest use the restroom before you get on the bus. But normally they make a couple stops along the way in addition to having the restroom on the bus. Okay, just make sure it's working. After you arrive in, go ahead, Sam. Yes, sorry.
Question. I guess on the bus we're on our own, right? We don't have a guide on the bus.
Right, but they're going to get you all the way on that bus so they can check with the driver before we pull off on the wheels. But yes, you will be on your own on the bus, but everybody will speak English, so you'll be fine. The bus driver might not speak the best English, but enough to get by. You have the opportunity to do hand gestures and things like this, but most Europeans nowadays do speak English quite well. When you do arrive in Prague, Martin will be waiting for you at the bus station, the Florence bus station, and he'll take you to get checked in. Again, relax, refresh a little bit, and then you'll have a nice orientation walking tour of Prague. And then you'll go for a traditional Czech welcome dinner, okay? That evening as well, you have the opportunity to go out, explore the city, go down by the river, do whatever you think, whatever you want to do in Prague. There's some really excellent viewpoints that we like to take the groups to, especially in the evenings for the sunsets. It's just to see the city from above it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world for sure. And one of the best preserved cities in the world, you know. So the following morning, you'll have your standard around 3 hour historical and cultural walking tour where he'll bring the city to life for you, and you'll understand the history of the city, the most important locations, most important sites, and things like this. Now, since that's a general overview of the city, those 3 hours, that afternoon would be an excellent time for you to go back to a few of those places that were covered along the way and explore them in more detail, or go somewhere else, and we can give you plenty of advice and suggestions to go to some other viewpoints of the city, or possibly rent a little paddle boat and go out on the river. You know, so there's plenty to do. That evening on Friday, you'll have your second included classical concert. And again, after the show, if you want to go out and explore the Old Town, it's entirely up to you. Okay. Now, while in Prague, there are 2 things that you have to see for sure. Actually, 3. You need to see the Old Town, most definitely, Stare Mesto. You need to see Charles Bridge, which you're going to be doing on the next day on May 18th. And you have to go to Castle Hill. Okay. Now, a little advice for Charles Bridge. I recommend, if you're a morning person, I recommend going very early in the morning. I'm talking like, 6 a.m. And you can, if you're a little bit earlier, you can be, one of the first ones or one of the only ones on the bridge. And it's really amazing. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can just watch the day come to life from the bridge, because around 8 a.m., and 9 a.m. all the way till, 10 o'clock at night, it will be packed full of people. So I suggest that you either go very early in the morning, or that you go in the middle of the night. Okay. And Prague's very safe, but you kind of decide. I prefer the early morning than the night, just because I like to see the sun come up and be one of the only ones out there. It's a very special experience, but again, it's not for everyone, especially if you're not a morning person. Okay. That day you will go to Castle Hill. You'll explore that whole part of the city, and then you will walk across Charles Bridge. But when you go across the bridge, it will be during that window when there's a lot of people already there. Okay. Afternoon, we have the museum visit for the Czech National Music Museum. And then evening again, guys, structured free time. Okay. The Castle Hill walking tour is about a standard, 2 to 3 hours. And again, Martin, he can go as long. They're there for you. Okay. So they're your local friends and guides. They're there. So, ask them as many questions as you have, and they're happy to answer all of them and accommodate. The next day, we're going to be taking the train to Vienna from Prague. So you have the train experience. Very nice. Countryside's beautiful. Same thing. Once we arrive in the city, Sandra will be waiting for you. Martin will say bye at the train station. Sandra will be waiting for you, and she'll take you to get checked in. You'll have an orientation tour, and then that evening you'll go for an Austrian welcome dinner. I'll confirm with Sandra, but normally we go out to the vineyards, and there's some nice traditional restaurants in the vineyard area where you can have an Austrian welcome dinner. I will confirm with her, because last time the menu didn't have quite as many options as we wanted to have on the menu. So we'll confirm with her if they've changed that or not. But regardless, if you don't go there for your welcome dinner, I want you guys to definitely go out there at some point, and she'll make that an optional activity and take you as well. Vienna, Wein actually means wine. That's where the name comes from. Vienna produces more wine within the city limits than any other capital city in the world. They're famous mainly for white wines and rosés. So Austria does produce very good quality wine. So does Hungary. Hungary actually, I believe, has over 30 different wine regions in the country. Anita will tell you more about that. But both those countries produce great wine. Czech Republic and Berlin are known for beer. They invented Czech Republic invented the Pilsner, which kind of like is like normal type of kind of lager beer. Okay, so around 4.5% alcohol, light golden beer. They invented that. Before that, the beers used to be very heavy and for the farm, the people that were working hard on the farm all day. And then when they stopped working on the farm all day, they realized that they were starting to gain a lot of weight from those very heavy beers. So they made a lighter beer, and that's when the golden ale came into, the lager pilsner came around. And it's very affordable. So drink responsibly. Okay. But it'd be, I'm not pushing it, but I think it'd be a shame if you didn't try pilsner while you were there. So let's see here. Where were we? Austrian welcome dinner. And then the next day, your Vienna walking tour. So they're going to bring the city. You're going to be focusing mainly on the UNESCO. The entire city center is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's packed full of museums and palaces. And, from the Austro-Hungarian Empire, it was the hub of, one of the most powerful regions across the entire world at that time. So you're going to find out all about that. Afternoon, free time. There's so much to do. Everything from museum visits to walking down on the Danube to, going out to the amusement park, the Prater. There's plenty to do. And Sandra's super active. So she'll make sure that you're not bored, and she will lead the way. Be prepared to walk, okay? In all of these cities, guys, you'll be walking a lot. Interesting fact, Vienna has, I think it's the 4th year in a row, been voted the world's most livable city, just because of the services and amenities that they have for free of charge. Quality of life is very, very high there. So, and of course, for the people that like the desserts, you've got the best 2 group leaders with you that will make sure you try all of the special desserts.
Okay, question. Since we moved the performance Tuesday,
It had originally.
It originally been Monday, so we might want to do something. Instead of having 2 structured free times on Monday, we may want to do something else. Maybe the museum visits to Monday.
And then have a structure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for sure, we can let Sandra know that right when you arrive, or I'll let her know that on Monday to do a museum visit on Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem.
I was asleep during the Mahler.
Yeah, exactly. I understand. Yeah. Well, in Vienna they make excellent coffee, so we'll make sure that you're up and alert. Again, guys, everything that we do is, it's not a tour bus style trip where it's like, okay, at 12:30 is bathroom break. Okay, at 12:40 you have to be like. So if there's one day where it's raining when you're supposed to have the walking tour, we might want to swap that for the museum. This is very go with the flow type of. Everything will get done, and it will be punctual, and it will be quality. But we also like to allow flexibility to be able to, for weather conditions, or if there's something very special happening at one certain time, to be able to adjust and move things around for you. So yes, that's not a problem. Anything can be moved. So we can move that museum visit to the Monday. The 3rd classical concert, the evening of May 21st. And then next day we are headed to Budapest. Okay. Well, sorry. One of my favorite cities. Absolutely gorgeous. It's called the Paris of the East. It's very, very beautiful, sitting on the Danube. And it's a great city. We're going to go. It's a 3-hour bus ride to Budapest. That's the great thing about all these cities as well. All these capital cities are so close to one another. So you really get in you're not having too much, bus time or train time to get to all these cities. And each of them offer so much in terms of culture and, different types of cuisine. And of course, languages. Hungarian's impossible. Good luck. But there are some fun phrases and things like that Anita will teach you. as long as you learn how to say please and thank you in all of the cities, you'll be doing well. Same thing, guys. Once we arrive in Budapest, Anita will be waiting for you. She'll take you to get checked into your hotel. And then that night you'll go for a traditional Hungarian welcome dinner. The following day, you'll join her for around a 3-hour historical walking tour. And in the afternoon, you have your free time to explore the city. Again, she'll make sure that you have plenty of suggestions to make the most out of your free time. There's lots of free walking tours that you can join that are, based on tips. You can go to Margaret Island. You can go up to the Fisherman's Bastion for the best, photos of the entire city. There's plenty to do. So she'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. That evening, we have our classical concert number 4. And the following day, since you have been walking for 10 days already, you will have the Széchenyi thermal baths. And it's absolutely beautiful building facility with two outdoor pools, offering, kind of whirlpools, jets, all this kind of thing. And then inside you have dozens of pools with different temperature waters, all mineral water, right? And saunas and steam rooms and all that. And it's just the perfect way to spend the morning at the end of the trip to kind of relax your muscles after, all the travel days and everything like that. And it's a very good experience. So make sure that you do bring a swimsuit, okay? Because you don't want to miss that experience. And you can look at the Hungarian men in their Speedos. You'll see some large grandfathers in their Speedos sitting playing chess, smoking cigars. It's a cultural it's a cultural site. It's great. You guys will love Budapest. That evening, we will have our farewell dinner, and then we'll go for the Danube cruise along the river, and it'll be a nice way to close out the program. Following day, of course, breakfast debriefing, airport transfer, and then we're headed home from Budapest to Frankfurt, and then I forgot where it was after there, but I think it was Frankfurt to Washington, and then to OKC. And you'll be back home at 7:45 p.m. if everything goes as planned. So yeah, guys, that's the trip. I'm a little bit jealous that I'm not on this one with you. I've enjoyed traveling with Professor Richmond and Magro the last 2 times that we've done. Is it 2 times or 3 times that we've done this program? I think this would be the 3rd time if that we would have done it together. But
this particular, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a Central Europe program. So I have to go to Australia to be with another group there because we have a new group leader guide in training. So I'm not able to join you, and I'm sad because I did my university in Bratislava, Slovakia. So I used to travel to all these cities quite often when I was a university student. So I really miss it. But anyway, you are in good hands, better hands than my own. So you'll be fine. But yeah, what I would like to do now is to open it up for you guys and allow you to ask any questions, and we can make sure that we cover everything so that way you're ready to go.
All questions are good questions.
Okay, what about, what would we need to make calls
Phones.
when we're in the country?
Is there a special AT&T plan or anything you would recommend?
Well, what I would recommend for you guys is to download WhatsApp if you haven't. That's WHATSAPP.
Yeah, we've done. Yeah, we have already.
Did yours though. So
You have a WhatsApp group already?
Yeah.
Yes, well done. You're ahead of the game. So you're connected there. That's perfect. Now, when it comes to like making international calls and things like that, you just need to check with your provider and find out what the best deal is. Most of the places we're going to, guys, are connected with Wi-Fi everywhere. Okay, be it in local little cafes or at the hotels that we're staying at. Every place has Wi-Fi. So I would suggest doing that.
You can make calls over Wi-Fi.
Correct. Yeah. And then, if you don't have an international plan, make sure that you put your phone on airplane mode when you arrive. So that way you don't have huge international roaming charges and bills on your phone. Okay.
AT&T has a deal where they charge you $10 a day when you're
Oh.
overseas.
There you go.
Other questions? The concerts are not really formal. People will be dressed in all variety. A lot of them are also tourists. And so I'd say no jeans. Bring a tie if you're a guy. And maybe something that's not gym shoes. A skirt, Sunday clothes. Sunday clothes is fine.
Yeah, you don't want to bring a lot of.
Right, that's what I was asking. I will also tell you that one thing that we did last time was create concert attire in a bag. A Ziploc bag that just has, maybe it was a light shirt and a sweater and a scarf. And I put it in the Ziploc bag, and then there was a day that we went to the opera in the evening, but we weren't going to be at the hotel. And so it was in my bag, and then I just went into the washroom. Okay. So that's another idea. And Sam always has an extra tie because my mother has all these ties that he has created. And so he will have other ties in case you forget. Other questions?
Well, I'll mention there are some excellent music stores in these places. So, and also when you have free nights, in the past we've gone to other musical events like other operas or symphony concerts. There are all sorts of amazing things.
One of the things we missed on the trip, how long ago was that trip? 15, 16?
I think so.
Yeah, we missed the Liszt Museum. Is it in Budapest? Is that where it is?
Yes, there's a Liszt Museum, and there's also Bartok's house.
We watched it.
Yeah, and there are performances in the Liszt Museum.
Oh. And okay, I have other questions for you.
Okay. And all right, so thinking through your head, you know what to get there, you know what to bring.
Where are you going in Australia?
The east side, Queensland.
Have fun.
Queensland. I want to go with you next.
Go see the reef before it disappears.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, it's very sad. Yeah, it's a biology trip. So they're going from Brisbane all the way up to Cairns and then back down. So I'm very excited. I have not been to Australia, so I'm flying over there a few weeks before they arrive, and then to meet everybody on ground, and then they come and we'll just run the route again. But yeah, I'm looking forward. Thank you.
There's a good hostel in Cairns right next to the library.
I'm writing that down.
Okay, I can't remember the name of it. It's very pretty. And next to the library, there are bats hanging off the trees all the time.
The cellist on our faculty taught at the university in Cairns for a number of years before she came here. So she's also a good source.
Great, thank you. Cellist faculty. Okay.
Anyway, okay. Anything else before we can let just go on and do more of whatever he's doing now that it's probably dinner time or lunchtime?
Well, I eat around this time, but Spaniards don't. They eat at 10 p.m. at night.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, any other questions you have at all, don't hesitate. You have direct email to Patricia right here at the bottom of each page. So anything at all, don't hesitate. We're always happy to help. And yeah, get ready. You're going to have an absolute spectacular time. and enjoy Central Europe.
Yeah, and there are two more of us, but we'll.
I recorded the whole session, so I'll email it over to you once it's uploaded to YouTube, and they can watch that if they want to. I'll email you the electronic copy of the orientation packet, and I'll also send you guys the release forms and all that, and you guys will be good to go.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you guys. Hey, have a lovely Sunday and enjoy yourselves and get ready for Europe. It's a month away. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.